Hello, welcome to Bluebell Storytime Online. I'm Miss Mandy from the B.B. Comer Library. Before I get started, I have just a quick message to parents. There are 6 skills that every child needs to be ready to read. I talked about one of them last week. I talked about print awareness, and this week I want to tell you about vocabulary. Vocabulary is simply knowing the names of things and understanding the meaning of words. How can you do this with your child? Well, number 1, take time before or during the reading of a book to explain an unfamiliar word. Don't replace the word. Number 2, add descriptive words when talking to your child. The tall tree, the green grass, the hot sunny day. And number 3, show and name real items when possible. A kiwi, moss. For babies and for toddlers, just point to and name objects. These are just a few fun activities you can do with your child to get them ready to read. Because remember, the more words young children know before they enter school, the better. All right, the first book I want to read today is called Mother Bruce. And I'd like to thank the author, Ryan T. Higgins, and the publisher, Hyperion, for allowing me to share this book with you. Bruce was a bear who lived all by himself. He was a grump. He did not like sunny days. He did not like the rain. He did not like cute little animals. Bruce liked only one thing: eggs. He collected them from all over the forest. But Bruce didn't eat raw eggs like other bears. Instead, he cooked them into fancy recipes that he found on the internet. One day, Bruce came across a recipe for hard-boiled goose eggs drizzled with honey salmon sauce. So he went out to get the ingredients. First, he caught a few salmon. Then he collected honey from a local beehive. He liked to support local business, you see. Last, he went to Mrs. Goose's nest to pay her a visit. At home, Bruce prepared the eggs for hard boiling. But the fire in his stove fizzled, so he went out to get more wood. When Bruce came back, he was met with an unwelcome surprise. Bruce became the victim of mistaken identity. Hear these little goslings saying, "Mama." Bruce wanted hard-boiled eggs, not goslings. He supposed he could settle for buttered goslings on toast. But for some reason, he lost his appetite. Bruce scooped up the little geese and stomped back to their nest, only to find Mrs. Goose had flown south early. Bruce left the goslings there anyway and went back home. But he was followed. Bruce was very stern and said things like, "Go away," and "I am not your mother," and also, "I liked you better when you were eggs." Bruce could take it no longer and became extra grumpy with them, and he roared. It didn't work. Goslings always follow their mother, even if she is a he and he is a bear. Bruce was stuck with them. He tried to make the best of it. It was hard work. As the seasons passed, Bruce watched the pesky goslings grow older. They were annoying baby geese, stubborn teenage geese, and boring adult geese. Then one fall afternoon, he saw other goose families flying south. Finally, he'd be rid of those geese, and he could take a long winter nap. Bruce explained migration, but they didn't listen. Bruce needed the geese to leave, so he got creative. Nothing worked. The geese would not leave Bruce. So Bruce decided to pack some bags and take his geese into town. They boarded a bus and migrated to Miami. Now every winter, Bruce and his geese head south together. They laze about at the beach in tacky shirts, sipping ice-cold lemonade, while Bruce dreams of new recipes that don't hatch. And look, I think one of these little geese has found a friend that says Mama. All right, I hope you enjoyed that book. Ryan T. Higgins is one of my favorite authors. All right, Bruce in that last story was a very grumpy bear, and I think he was probably a black bear or a grizzly bear maybe. So we're going to sing about 3 or 4 different kinds of bears now. I want you to join me, all right? Grizzly bears are big and brown, big and brown, big and brown. Grizzly bears are big and brown and live in the woods. Now polar bears. Polar bears are soft and white, soft and white, soft and white. Polar bears are soft and white and live where it's cold. Now panda bears. Panda bears are black and white, black and white, black and white. Panda bears are black and white and live in the jungle. And the last one is a teddy bear. Teddy bears are just my size, just my size, just my size. Teddy bears are just my size to cuddle with at night. All right, the next book I want to read is a lot of fun to read to me out loud. It's called The Pout-Pout Fish, and I'd like to thank the author, Deborah Diesen, the illustrator, Dan Hanna, and the publisher, Farrar, Straus, and Giroux. Thank them for allowing me to share the book with you. This is The Pout-Pout Fish. Deep in the water where the fish hang out lives a glum, gloomy swimmer with an ever-present pout. I'm a pout-pout fish with a pout-pout face, so I spread the dreary wearies all over the place. Blub, blub, blub. Along comes a clam with a wide winning grin and a pearl of advice for her pal to take in. Hey, Mr. Fish, with your crosstown frown, don't you think it's time to turn it upside down? Says the fish to his friend, nice thought, Miss Clam. I hear what you're saying, but it's just the way I am. I'm a pout-pout fish with a pout-pout face, so I spread the dreary wearies all over the place. Blub, blub, blub. Along comes a jellyfish. He floats through the ocean, his tentacles all trailing in a gentle locomotion. Hey, Mr. Fish, with your daily scaly scowl, I wish you wouldn't greet us with a grimace and a growl. Says the fish to his friend, Mr. Jelly, I agree. I'd like to be more friendly, but it isn't up to me. I'm a pout-pout fish with a pout-pout face, so I spread the dreary wearies all over the place. Blub, blub, blub. Along comes a squid, quite a slender, squiggly sight. She is squirmy, she is squelchy, she is slightly impolite. Hey, Mr. Fish, you kaleidoscope of mope, how about a smile, a little joy, a little hope? Says the fish to his friend, Mrs. Squid, I would try, but I haven't any choice. Take a look and you'll see why. I'm a pout-pout fish with a pout-pout face, so I spread the dreary wearies all over the place. Blub, blub, blub. Along comes an octopus with 8 great arms, covered on the underside with tiny sucker charms. Hey, Mr. Fish, let me tell it to you straight. Your hulky-bulky sulking is an unattractive trait. Says the fish to his friend, Mr. 8, my chum, with a mouth like mine, I am destined to be glum. I'm a pout-pout fish with a pout-pout face, so I spread the dreary wearies all over the place. Blub, blub, blub. Now along comes a fish in a silent silver shimmer. The gang has never seen before this bright and brilliant swimmer. She approaches Mr. Fish, but instead of saying, "Hey," she plants a kiss upon his pout, and then she swims away. Mr. Fish is most astounded. Mr. Fish is just aghast. He is stone-faced like a statue. Then he blinks and speaks at last. "My friend," says Mr. Fish, "I should have known it all along. I thought that I was pouty, but it turns out I was wrong. I'm a kiss-kiss fish with a kiss-kiss face for spreading cheery cheeries all over the place. So I'll smooch, 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 smooch." All right, I hope you've enjoyed this story. I love this one. And this is also a great book to teach vocabulary, like we talked about at the beginning. Things like octopus, clam, jellyfish, squid. Also words in here like unattractive, aghast, astounded, things like that. Just a fun way to teach some new words. Thank you for joining me today at Bluebell Storytime, and I hope you'll join me again. Bye-bye.